Cracked glass repairs. We often find ourselves in situations that are not perfect. We make changes, improve things as best as we can, but we often end up wondering what's happened. Relationships between two lovers, siblings, parents and their children, and even employers and their employees have a funny way of challenging us. Problems occur and they can cause turmoil, which can take any form. As we grow up, we are told that things work out if one tries hard enough, but sometimes no amount of effort can fix a broken relationship. I have a friend who does amazing artwork on glass and mirrors. He is the sort of artist who performs miracles out of nothing. Things we would throw out becomes pieces that he can turn into art. He is what they meant when they told us to fix things that were around us to make them work. One day, I was visiting his studio and talking over some interesting mirror artwork he had created. I was complimenting him over what he is able to do and how he could make things work. He had a good laugh when I mentioned his ability to fix things. He took me to the back of his studio, where he had a big dumpster full of mirrors and glass pieces. He then said something that took me by surprise. He said that if a piece of glass or mirror had a crack on it, he could fix it, but he couldn't take the mark away from it. Thus, for all practical purposes, it was useless to him. Some relationships are like that. They develop cracks on them for whatever reasons. We try to fix them, to make it work, but the crack stays and things never get back to being how they were before the crack developed. We keep trying, getting frustrated and suffering in the process, without realizing that what we are left with is the mark on the mirror. The only solution short of continuing to suffer is either to attempt to salvage the relationship or to walk away. Even at the workplace, if things have come to a stage where the glass has cracked, you might try to fix it, but the mark will stay. It is then that you need to ask yourself if you're going to stay or start looking for a new job. This holds true for other parts of our lives too. This doesn't necessarily mean that one can't live with cracked glass. We can, but we need to remind ourselves that we shouldn't get surprised if things don't feel the same. There is a possibility though, that if we can carve out a piece of the glass that doesn't have a crack running through it, then we might have our solution, a piece of glass without the mark on it. Reclamation at its best. Sometimes we can save a big piece, but sometimes one isn't so lucky. Whatever one ends up with, it would be free of the turmoil that was present in the bigger piece. It is for us to figure out how to carve out the biggest piece possible. At work, this could mean taking a horizontal shift in a different facility, or even consider reinventing oneself so that a promotion becomes a possibility. The point is that having a cracked glass, though not a good thing, might be a jumping board for better things if one realizes what one has. Instead of getting frustrated by the mark that is always going to be there, start looking at what can be saved. The other option is still there, to walk away. Whatever one decides, this isn't a helpless situation. This, however, doesn't mean that one has lost the option of living with the marked glass. That option always exists, and if one looks closely enough, one will find that most of us do walk around with marks. They are reminders of the battles we've fought. These marks remind us of who we are and why we have become who we are. The idea is to remember that when it becomes unbearable to carry the cracked glass, we always have the option of either getting rid of it or carving out a part from it. We also have the option of keeping it and letting the mark remind us of who we are. The option we choose depends on our threshold for pain and the ability to withstand the damage caused, but whatever option we choose in the end would be the right option. As I thought more about what my friend was saying, I was reminded of a couple who in their initial days often had arguments about each other's certain annoying habits. As time went on and their arguments increased, they realized that these arguments were having a bad effect on their relationship, which was now on the verge of breaking. They decided to sit down and discuss what was going on. They did some soul searching, and definitely a lot of heart searching, and came to the conclusion that the crack that they saw in their relationship, these annoying habits, could be tolerated in the larger context of how good their relationship was. They felt that their relationship was worth saving, even though it had some annoying parts to it. Should their arguments have continued, a time would have come where it would have been difficult to save any good parts, and they might have decided to dump it and move on.